Good morning, all of you. So we'll continue with the modern physics questions. So today I'll bring some collisions one. Yesterday we discussed one atomic physics, no? With nuclear physics, we'll introduce some collision problems. Okay, let's proceed with this. First, we'll discuss few questions on general photoelectric effect. Then I'll take you to the collisions one. I think in general class I discussed only one or two questions. Let me just put some 5 to 6 questions so that you'll be in a better position. Okay, read the question. I think this whole set of questions. What you should do is like you should okay clearly. Okay, look at the terminal here. So this will be E bar direction. No? E bar due to what? Due to applied. So here this E bar. I think this is the one very important part of this one. When you apply any potential difference across a photoelectric tube, no. So there's the condition what will put it. With the polarity of applied potential difference reversed as shown in figure B and the frequency of incident light is doubled. It was observed that find the work function of the metal used in plate A. The maximum contingent of photoelectrons striking the plate B was 1 electron volt. Okay, this was frequency F. This is 2F. Okay, what will be the incident here? This particular thing will have, will write K naught or contingent at A. By the time it strikes, it will have contingent here B. So what this will do, will retard it, no? Okay, we'll write equations now. HF Ka, no? So what is Ka? You can write it HF minus work function. And what this field will do, will retard. So Kb or write like this, Ka plus E into V applied potential difference V minus Kb minus Kb equal to 0. Why the equations? Because the electrostatic field does negative work, no? So therefore, we'll writing like this here. So this will become, what do we know? The maximum contingent of electrons striking the plate B was, so we know Kb. Kb is how much? 1 electron volt. That is a given for us. And E into V, so this is, so therefore this HF minus 5 minus 5 electron volt is equal to, this will be 1 electron volt. So therefore, this will become equal to 6 electron volt. This is equation 1. Keep it here. Looking at the first diagram, let's come for the second diagram. What is telling? The polarity of the applied potential with polarity of applied potential reversed as shown in figure, and the frequency of incident light doubled. It was observed at saturation state. The kinetic energy of electrons striking the plate B ranged from 5 electron to 20 electron volt. Find the work function of the metal used in the plate A. We have to calculate this work function. So 5 electron volt to 20 electron volt. So what do you mean by that? So the kinetic energy of the plate striking B will range from 5 electron volt to 20 electron. That's what it's telling. So what is the energy added by this cell? 5 electron volt it will add, no? So therefore, what is the kinetic energy of the emitted particle here? Ka dash. Here they will strike with Kb dash. So what is the range? 5 electron volt to 20 electron volt. So can we make a guess of Ka dash, maximum Ka dash? So some will be ejected with a 0 kinetic energy, no? And some will be ejected with what? 15 electron volts. So by the time it reaches here, will become 20. So I'll do one thing. Let me write the equation. Ka dash plus again it does positive work cell equal to Kb dash. So let's take the first one. This is 5 electron volt. I'm very sure. And I'll use symbol V naught or anything. Okay, V naught will write it. So some of you are asking, okay, no problem. It is EV naught. After substituting EV naught, 1 electron volt, it will become. Yeah. This will be Ka dash. Okay, this should be, if Kb dash equal to 5 electron volt, what will be the Ka dash? One possibility, it will be 0. Then it can also happen that Ka dash Ev equal to Kb double dash. I'm unable to solve only one for this one. So this should be equal to 5 electron volt. This is how much is telling 20 electron volt. Okay, now you see that this is the minimum and there's a maximum. What emitted by the plate? Maximum kinetic energy of electrons and some of the electrons emitted by the okay, no. What is this? Ka dash, can we write it as Ka dash, double dash should be equal to 2hf, no? Twice the frequency, h into 2f minus work function. Okay, hf minus 5, what we can write? And Ka double dash is what? 15. Hf minus 5 will be 6 electron volt. Okay, calculate the value of Hf, substitute in the equation 2, then we'll get the required answer. Work function 3 electron volt. Okay, yeah, the same thing. So Hf will be, this will be 6 will be 9. This will substitute here. 3 electron volt. Very popular, these questions. Somehow what happened, a student has to get this E bar, looking at this polarity, get E bar. As it is electron, if E bar in the direction of electron, it does negative work. If E bar opposite to like a motion of the electron, it does positive work. So we are going to add up. I think this you have to notice the way we write equation. Okay, there's the idea, finish all, nothing else is there. Rest all photoelectric effect, you know concept. And this is some question I brought it just based on the potentiometer idea. Because in our books, it's not there, no, just I included one of the question. Read it, it's a little bit information is there. Once you read it, you can manage it very easily. We have some information. First, we'll calculate what is the maximum kinetic energy. Kmax will calculate, then we can get into the problem. So Kmax equal to HF minus work function. Hc by lambda. Okay, he has not given any other thing. No? So we'll do one thing. 1240 only will take it. 1240 lambda is how much? 350 minus work function. So this will be Sa will be 124 electron volt nanometer. This is nanometer. And there's a very standard thing and work function of this we know 2.2 electron volt. So we'll get Kmax in terms of electron volt. Anybody value? 124 by 124 by 35. Anybody value?
3.54, sir.
Yeah, okay, 3.54 electron volt. Okay, this much is there. Okay, look at the polarity now. So what this electric field will be acting in this direction. Finish. So the moment you connect a cell, you bring this into the picture. So what that electrostatic field will do, will decrease the kinetic energy of the ejected particle, ejected photoelectron. Okay, now let's get into the problem. The sliding contact. Okay, this is about the 10 volt is telling.
That is not 3.54, sir.
Not 3.54. Huh?
It's 1.34.
1.34.
That particular
Kmax is that much, it means. Okay, 1.34.
1.37, sir.
1.34, sir.
4 only, sir.
4 only. Okay, we'll keep this much.
4, sir.
Okay, no. Okay, there's a Kmax. Now, first, when it is at A, it's telling find the reading of emitter when the slider is moved to the end A of the wire. When slider is moved to end A of the wire, there won't be resistance by the rheostat. So what all the 10 volt applied will, will appear here. So the reading of emitter, when the reading of emitter will be there when the electrons pass through it. A simple diagram. 10 volt is applied. Here it is ejected with K max. The electrostatic field will be like this. So it will experience a force. Okay, now let's calculate what is the speed of electron when it reaches here, K. Okay, now initial kinetic energy, K max plus work done by cells should be negative, no? So therefore E into, this will write V naught equal to K. So K max is how much? 1.34 electron volt. This is how much? 10 electron volt. So what do you expect K? K will be some sort of negative. So will be 8.3466. Yeah. Negative means not possible, no? The electron cannot reach plate C, cathode. So negative sign. Therefore, electron cannot reach the cathode. Photoelectron. Ejected photoelectron cannot reach the cathode. So therefore, what should be the current? So will be 0. So shall we add up? Therefore, the maximum kinetic energy electron itself is unable to reach. So what about other things? Definitely. So what happened will be 0. No current flow will flow through the emitter. Okay, fine. So this is the condition. Just she has brought some idea, nothing else there. No, the slider is moved gradually away from A. Plot the variation of emitter current reading versus distance of the slider measured from A. I'm going to slide it away from it. Okay, when do current will start flowing? When do electron will reach? The first thing is when do the electron is capable of reaching it here. Just even if it just reaches also, I think when potential difference is 1.3 volt. Drop across, this is 1.3 volt. The 10 volt, this will be 10 volt. So here what is telling is, this is like a potential divider you can take. This will be 10 volt only. I can't change this one. So as I move this, so here how much, when jockey is here, how much here 10 volt it will drop here. So now as I start moving, then a current will flow. So when do what will happen? When the drop across this becomes equal to 1.3 volt, then only current will flow, no, here. So now you can ask questions, sir, no current here, then how come drop? The drop can be from here. This is very important. Please do look at here. There'll be flow of current. There'll be always continuously flow of current. I'll have to indicate something like this, I dash. This I dash will be non-zero wherever may be the jockey, either at A or B. Well, if you can agree this, I think it will be a very easy thing. Just observation of the problem, nothing is there. Yeah, fine. Now, when the jockey is at A, what is the drop? The old 10 volt will drop here. No, as I start moving it, we know what is the current here. So now as I start moving, there'll be some drop. So what all the applied EMF, a part will drop here, a part has to be dropped here. This will become like a potential divider formula. When the electrons will start reaching the collector, only when the potential drop across this is less than or equal to 1.3 volt. 1.3 volt here means 8.7 should be here. So when do the reading of current will be non-zero? When the jockey is at a distance of 87 centimeter. I think I'll better, instead of shouting so much, let me draw the diagram. Diagram. Okay, let me copy this. There's a very good problem. It's the small idea of potentiometer is what is trying to introduce here, nothing big. Huh? You can expect in exams of this kind. Okay, I have brought it everything. So here, let me indicate the distance x. There'll be a flow of current I dash. The drop across this, you write it, drop across the tube, I'll write. Shall I write VT? So what all this 10 node, what we apply, a part of it will be shared by this, remaining will go potential divider formula. So when do the electrons will come and strike the cathode? Only when potential difference becomes less than or equal to 1.3 volt. So now this is how much is there, 10 volt and 100 centimeter is there. Here 10 volt is there, 1.3 volt. If it drops here, remaining how much will be 8.7 volt. And look at the slider resistance, 100 centimeter, 10 ohm. So how much of length it should be? X, 87 centimeter. So when the jockey is at a distance of 87 centimeter, then what will happen? The electron starts reaching the cathode. Reason for that, the idea here. Able to understand? So there's some potential divider concept is what I have brought it. So this 10 volt, okay, for option B, I'll bring it. 10 volt should be equal to VAJ plus VT. When the electrons will start striking the cathode, the electrons photoelectrons, huh? Okay, yeah. The photo reach the cathode C only when VT is less than or equal to 1.3 volt. Okay, so therefore, what should be the value of X? X should be 87 centimeter. Will I agree this? So is it justified? He's asking no. Now, when X is greater than 87 centimeters, so what do you expect? The drop across the cell will be less than 1.3 volt. So then more electrons will come and strike the cathode. So what do you expect? The current will increase. He's asking to plot the graph. Somewhere this is 87. The curve, anybody how the curve should be?
Initially zero now, sir. So it will be a straight line.
Initially it'll be a straight line, horizontal.
Also it will be linear.
Linear, no?
Sir.
Null. Okay, this one here. Finally, when it is at B, when it is at B, what will happen? We'll get a maximum current. Okay, that has to be. So any information that we have.
Why is it linear, sir?
Some of you said linear, I wrote linear.
It will increase, but we don't know if it will increase linearly or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the expression for current, no, this is the current. How the graph will be?
Some sort of concave up, sir, because when the length x is 87 centimeters, only the electrons which are ejected with maximum velocity can reach C, and the number of such electrons is less. But when x is equal to 100, then all the electrons can reach C. the total number will be more. It should be some kind of concave up.
Should be increasing one,
Yes, yes. Slope increasing.
increasing slope. Huh?
It should be something with increasing slope, but we cannot tell exactly what.
Curve like this. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, that one. Oh, that cloud also we should take into picture, no? So how many will come and strike?
Number of electrons. That is why the slope
Okay.
is increasing.
And afterwards it remain constant, no? Whatever we do. Once it reaches B. Okay, I'm not very sure. Like, okay, it should be increasing. It should not be linear. Okay, fine. No. Yeah. Okay, there's a but curve. Okay, any specific reason? Okay, regarding cloud, we don't know, no? How many electrons they come and strike.
Sir, why increasing slope, sir?
Sir, if we take the amount of electrons, like quantum efficiency, generally we get quantum efficiency as 1% or something. So there are very few electrons which are coming out with maximum kinetic energy. So when the potential difference is just enough to make them reach C, there are very few electrons which are going. So current will be small. But as soon as I reduce the potential little bit, there are more number of electrons which are having lesser kinetic energy.
Okay, so it's something, why the curve should be like this only? Because here cloud will be there. So here what happen as I start moving it, oh, this will start decreasing it, no? As I further increase, the drop across this will decrease. Okay, still the E is like this, no?
Sir, can we say something that as ejected electrons, uh, the number of electrons having more kinetic energy is less? Like if we consider kinetic energy and number of electrons, as kinetic energy increases, number of electrons decreases. Can we accept that, sir?
No, yes, like this particular thing will keep on decreases here. As it keeps on decreases, then what happen? The number of electrons striking what happen will increase. Kmax, only Kmax one. Kmax one, and other than Kmax also will start moving and they'll strike this one. Okay, the zero, the cloud one will never come here, no?
Cloud will also come, sir, accelerating electrons. Yeah, okay, sorry, cloud will not come.
Cloud will never come. Huh? That's the thing. The cloud will never come. The cloud here will never move. The space charge layer will never move. So and along with Kmax now, suppose a Kmax is able to come along with Kmax, the other things also start moving. Okay, we don't have any exact.
As we decrease the potential, more and more number of electrons start hitting the plate C in one.
Okay, that's yeah, increasing. I know it, but curve why only like this? Huh? It should not be linear also. That much we are okay. We can see.
Initially, fewer number of electrons are hitting it.
Yeah.
And as I decrease the potentials, the number of electrons which are having greater kinetic energy, that will increase. That is why I told increasing slopes.
No, di by dx is what the graph is what we are trying to justify here.
Suppose maximum kinetic energy ejected is 1 electron volt, sir. So if we consider some 1000 electrons, out of that only few, like 5 or 10 will have Kmax. Then more number of electrons, 20, suppose 20 electrons will have little less than Kmax, something like that. So considering that, I told, sir. Because number of electrons having more kinetic energy is less.
That will Kmax will their number will be less. Okay,
That
with
is
the
why increasing slopes.
as Vt decreases, what happen along with Kmax, other electrons also will start coming and striking cathode.
As I decrease Vt more, their rate will also increase. That is why current will increase exponentially.
Current will increase.
Why rate will increase, sir?
It should increase, no? Because along with Kmax, the electrons with less Kmax also will come and strike cathode.
How can you say the rate will increase or it will not?
Very simple. See, like if only Kmax is able to reach. Afterwards, what happens as VT decreases along with Kmax, the less Kmax also will increase. No, electrons with less kinetic energy also will strike cathode.
Sir, how can you say that di by dx is greater than 0? The slope is always increasing.
See, the amount of electron striking that will increase. No, so current will
Sir,
increase. Yeah,
current will increase, sir. How can you say that the slope is increasing?
because see
Particular graph.
the number. Suppose say there are 100 particles are there. Kmax there are 10 are there. Okay, then which are between say like a less than Kmax there are 30 are there. So that 30 what happen will start increasing will come and strike. No, cloud will never move. Cloud will never move. So along with Kmax, K will also increase here. So you mean to say how that dy by dx, why not constant, why not curve, that you mean to say, no? The rate at which they are striking, okay, this X is a, say one thing we are very sure, the number of electrons striking cathode is not fixed here. Its number will keep on increase. So therefore I should go for a curve, not a straight line. That much I'm very particular. Okay, this is about now find the maximum speed
Sir,
with
in
which
X-rays we have a graph now, sir. Plot against saturation current and voltage.
Yes, sir. X-rays graph we can use it.
That graph will come now, sir, like convex up, decreasing slope. Decreasing slope and then it become constant.
constant.
Yes, sir, obviously
Sir,
constant it will
but
become.
not
Oh,
in this case because potential difference is in other direction. If we change the polarity, then we can get eye saturation.
so saturation will be there on the other side, no? That's what like.
The graph increasing slope will not come now, sir.
No, this will be like as X increases, VT will decrease. Then there's more possibility of more electrons coming and checking the cathode. No, the number will increase. No,
Number will increase, sir, but what about the rate, sir?
the rate definitely will be different.
Number should be same, sir. Rate will increase
Yeah, that one it should change
because anything k greater than 0, it will eventually come and strike C when VT is 0.
because as VT decreases, more and more electrons will come and strike it. The rate should not be uniform. That much we are very sure. I can say the rate should not be uniform. With this, if not vertical line, it should be some sort. We'll go for a curve.
That's I'm saying slope should decrease, same as the X-ray graph. In X-rays, we have one graph now, sir, a plot against current and stopping potential. That will have a decreasing slope. Same kind of graph will get now, sir.
Yeah, it's not a. Okay, you mean to, but it is a. Stopping potential effect will come only here, no? Afterward, there's a retarding potential. What we get it.
No, sir.
So yeah, after this, what happened? They don't have energy to reach that particular thing. After this, they'll start reaching. Okay, anyway, I'll just think over it, the exact curve. Okay, I'll put question mark. Anybody wants to, if you can go further. Find the maximum speed with which an electron will hit the collector plate if the slider J is placed at a distance of 95 centimeter from A. Okay, 95 centimeter means 0.5 volt will be there. So K max minus 0.5 electron volt, I'll subtract the option C. Okay, 1.3. electron volt minus 0.5 electron volt. How much it was? 1.34, no? Yeah. Anybody just value? $0.78. Just give me value. Well,
2.84.
0.84. Yeah. Read this question. Yeah. Radiation pressure, I just brought two numericals. We'll have small discussion on this. Very simple, no need of any integration. An equilateral prism okay, read question. I'll complete the diagram. Okay, now we'll get into the problem. We have a ray. I think it's at minimum deviation that the way he has given information. No, it's at minimum because the refracted ray inside the prism is horizontal, so it's at minimum deviation. First, get the prism ideas properly, so that then we'll enter into the radiation pressure concept. Okay, the angle of prism given 60 degrees. There's an incident ray, refracted, and there's an emergent ray. So R1 equal to the refracting angle, R1, R2. May not be needed. Okay, first we'll find out. We'll see that one. R1 plus R2 is equal to A, and R1 equal to R2. So therefore, 30 degrees. It's at minimum deviation. So we know R1. So sine I equal to mu sine R1. Mu is how much? Root 2, 1 by 2 sine I. So I will be 45 degrees. Calculate the change in weight of prism due to the incident laser beam. Okay, the angle of incidence we know 45 degrees. So this is the 60 degrees we have. R1 is how much? 30. Okay, this angle is what? 60. Okay, it will exert force, no? So you look at the momentum. So let's get into the momentum of that one. Equilateral prism, no? Yeah, we'll take it. What can be this angle? 60. This angle is I 45, no? 45, this angle will be 45. Okay, with horizontal, what can be the angle subtended? Where prism gone? Okay, let me take help of this one. So this angle is what? 45 degrees. So this angle should be 15 degrees. and this total angle is 45 degrees. Okay, the incident ray, no? So the incident ray, what happened? The change in momentum of this will calculate. So the change in momentum, so this particular surface will absorb it. So will it exert any force? Yes, it will be in this direction. Similarly, the emergent ray, here also it will make the same angle. So total angle, so this should also be, shall I write directly? Where do one ray gone? Yeah, it is like this. Huh? So look at the change in. So this particular thing from here it is emerging out. So will it exert any force? How to bring that one? So this is being absorbed, from here it is being emitted. So will there be any force exerted by the incident beam on the prism? Yes, it will be. So that will come here. So here will there be any force? Yes, it will be in this direction. The change in momentum is here, no? So now you look at the along x-axis, there won't be any force on the prism because it's being ejected. It will exert a force. Here it is being absorbed. It will exert a force like this. And net in y direction, there will be a force, no, on the prism. So how to calculate that one? So this is the momentum. So initial momentum of the incident photons. I'll put one arrow. I think I can show only this much. And the final emerging photons, they will have momentum like this. Is there any change in momentum of that as it is along y-axis? We'll calculate. So what is the momentum of photons? Momentum of photon will be h by lambda. What is the change in momentum of photon? Should be equal to PF bar minus PI bar. If I calculate that one, I do get this is equal to 2h by lambda cos 15. In what direction it should be?
Sine 15, sir.
No cos, no, it will be.
Y direction sine 15, no, sir.
Sine 15 will come. Huh? Okay, that's fine. No, here you have to take
Negative y direction.
the photon will come here, no? So this will be 15. Okay, sine 15 will come here. Along y-axis. So it should be along negative direction. You can put it here. This will be. So, but this is about the one photon. So how many photons are striking per second? How to calculate that? So he has given that power. So power by energy of photon will become number of photons striking. So this will be P naught lambda by hc. So what is the total force that we should be? Fi should be equal to n into delta P. So P naught lambda hc 2h by lambda sine 15. So 2 P naught by C. Answer given cos 15. Huh? Calculate the change in weight of prism due to incident laser beam. That is what this FI. Yeah? He has given cos 15 answer. Okay, let me check it. Okay, this is the 60 degrees. This total will be 60 degrees. This is 45. So this should be the 45. This is 90. So therefore, this is 15. So the incident ray will make an angle 15 degrees with horizontal. So here it will come like this. So here also this angle will be 15. So this will be the force like this. Here the momentum is like this. A change in momentum, final minus initial. Answer given cos. Okay, momentum I'll resolve. Okay, I think sine 15 only will get it. Okay, definitely the prism what happened will experience, it will experience force more than its weight. Okay, we'll take one more. Read the question. A point source S of a light having power 500 watt is kept at focus. Diameter D. The focal length of the lens is 2D by 3. Assume that 40% of the incident light energy is transmitted through the lens and the complete transmitted is normally on a perfectly reflecting surface behind the lens. Calculate the force on the reflecting surface. This is that reflecting surface. Okay, no. %40 is what you have to take. So of all the emitted power, 40% will be transmitted. Transmitted power will be how much and all. So total power is how much? We have to calculate power incident on the lens. In that 40% will be transmitted. Okay, I'll proceed like this. Say that the problem is very simple. First, we'll calculate how much of power incident on a lens. There is a basic idea. Okay, we'll do like this. Okay, this source. There's a distance 2d3, all that are given. The source will emit light in all directions. No, the source will emit light in all directions. A fraction of it which will lie within this cone will be transmitted, will be incident on this particular thing. So shall we go for some solid angle concept? So this distance is how much? D by 2. This is 2D by 3. So tan theta, cos theta is needed, no? So cos r square is equal to d by 2 whole square 2d by 3 whole square. So d square by 4, 4d square by 9. Okay, then cos theta is equal to 2d by 3 by r. So I think anybody value?
Why are we finding cos theta, sir?
4 by 5 cos theta.
So the emitted power, the total emitted power by the lens, by the source, the everything will not fall on the lens. Only a fraction of it. Okay, only fraction of it will come. Then what I do is like I'll take the total power emitted is how much. It is 500 watt. Of that 500 watt, what will happen? A fraction of that will go and incident on the lens. So power incident on the lens I'll calculate. For that, what is the solid angle? Solid angle will be 2 pi 1 minus
We
cos
can
theta.
do with planar angle also.
No. It's a lens. Lens is not a. It's a 3D object. No, it's like a disc. It is. Okay, 2 pi by 5. This is a solid angle. Now the power incident on the lens. It's a 3D diagram. Plain diagram. It appears for you. Power incident on the lens is equal to total power emitted, power of source into solid angle.
Divided by 4 by, sir.
4 pi, no? This is, yeah, this is the, for it, it will give out power in all directions. A fraction of power incident or so like a amount of power incident on the lens. Okay, we can adjust formula like this. So this will be 500, 4 pi, 2 pi by 5. How much it is? 222, 250, 50.
50.
Yeah. So again, what happened? 40% of it light is incident transmitted. So 0.4% of this will be transmitted. And that what happened will what we are going to go for this one. So power transmitted. Mm, 20 watt. Okay, now what is the force? It's a reflection. No? So what is the force will be? Equal to power transmitted to 2 times of that. 2 PC will write it. Okay, no. So 2 into this will be 20. 3 into 10 to the power of 8. Very small force. 40 by 3 into or 4 by 3 into 10 to the power 1.33 into 10 to the power of 7 Newton. This is the force exerted by the beam on the reflected on the reflecting surface. So just some radiation pressure can be asked through a lens or earlier one when a light passing through a prism, when light passing through a lens. Just be careful. Possibility of asking. As such, solid angle till now we didn't have any question in advance. I'm not very sure such questions can be asked or not because we don't have any even till date not a single question there in the advanced question bank. Huh? Okay, there's some de Broglie. Just some basic kinematics also, we can apply it. There's a uniform electric field is present. Say proton, there's a first proton, another proton is telling. So therefore there's a proton X, yeah, is projected with the same speed u at an angle, say like this is what is telling. Find the angle alpha. Okay, he is asking angle alpha. And the proton Y is projected simultaneously with the same speed u in a separate region having uniform magnetic field. It was found that both X and Y have same de Broglie wavelength after time t. Okay, this definitely should be projectile motion. Just somehow that condition has to strike it. Okay, agree this will be, so t equals 0 I projected. Then another proton, there's a uniform magnetic field. So proton magnetic field, yeah. So it is going to revolve in a circular path. This is at t equals 0 after certain time t. Not at t equals 0, okay, that one. After some time t, both will have the same de Broglie wavelength is telling. So by the time this completes parabolic path here, when it comes to on same horizontal line, they should complete one circular path. I think then only it's possible, no? Question is very simple. If you, I think somehow we should understand the situation. Rest all mathematics is very easy. I too thought of some other thing, but later the question is very simple. By the time this completes parabolic path like this, they should complete one circular path. Then only both can have the same de Broglie wavelength. Okay, now what is the time of flight? What is the acceleration? Ay should be equal to qv by m. So time of flight should be equal to 2u y by g, or 2u sine alpha by g. Okay, what is the distance? X naught. So x naught should be equal to find the angle alpha is asking, no? Somehow that alpha we have to bring. Don't disturb class. After 1 hour. Move. Just wait, I'll send my kid. Okay, now that alpha is to be determined. So how to bring that alpha? We don't have any other information. Magnetic field is given. So time period can we bring from the magnetic field 2 pi m by qb. Charge of electron is there. So from there, shall we bring the expression for alpha? Find the angle alpha with the proton X was projected with respect to the direction of the electric field. So alpha plus 90 is what our answer is. Oh, this is not direction of electric field. This is some theta, it has to be. No. Alpha is theta plus 90. This theta has to be determined. From where this theta has to be brought here. T is also given for us. So sine theta gt by.
Should be QE by M, sir.
So sorry, ay. This is Yeah. So Q E T 2 mu. I think substituting that sine inverse of okay, then find the displacement of proton x in time t. So I think it's asking this distance, no, x not equal to x naught should be equal to ux into t. What is ux? U cos theta into t. Cos theta has to be determined. So we know sine theta. Solve for cos theta. Substitute here. We'll get the x naught. Okay, simple idea. I'll call for next one. This is some annihilation. I think in chemistry you might have come across. It is possible for a photon to materialize into an electron and positron. The process called as pair protection. Similarly, annihilation. Annihilation means a proton, a positron. This is R actually. You check the advanced paper. They've asked even questions of these kind also. Okay, let's come for this one. It is possible for a photon to materialize. The process called as pair using conservation of momentum prove that pair protection cannot occur in empty space. Okay, we don't know anything, no? Let's proceed like this. This is a photon. It is having momentum. It will materialize into electron and a positron. So here we'll get ME. It will move with a velocity, say V1. This will be positron, this electron. This will move with a velocity V2. I think, is it possible? Momentum should be conserved. So is it possible for them to be along x-axis? Both are having positron, electron will have same mass, no? Is this situation possible? The answer is no. What is the other possibility? The photon will come like this. It will get materialized. Okay, this will be call V. Make an angle theta. Straight line not possible because momentum will not be conserved. Okay, we get like this. So apply conservation of linear momentum. So this will be h by lambda along x-axis should be equal to 2m EV cos theta. This is equation 1. Along y-axis, momentum must be conserved. Plus minus I wrote it. Me is mass of electron or positron. Then energy conservation, energy of this will be Hc by lambda should be equal to 2m EV square by 2. Okay, h by lambda, you can write 2me v. 2 get cancelled, so this will be me v square will come. Let's see expression for v, what we get. So h by lambda I'll replace here. 2me v cos theta into c equal to me v square. So when v get eliminated, me get cancelled. So this should be equal to how much? 2c cos theta. Is it possible? for a particle to have this much of speed. Cannot be, no. So therefore, what is the problem is there should be some other particle should be formed.
Why can't V be equal to C cos theta, sir?
No, here one V gets eliminated, no.
Yes, sir. How did you conclude that this should not happen? V equal to 2C cos
So,
theta?
okay, like that particular positron and electron, can they have such a high speeds? So cos theta, okay, you put it 1/2.
Cos theta can be 0 point something also. Theta tends to 90.
Deflection so much, huh? Okay, even we'll do one thing. Theta equal to 0. Okay, the previous condition not possible. Okay, we'll do one thing. Theta equal 30 degree, you put it. So positron, electrons, such a high speed possible. So what happened here? There must be some other particle along with this should have been generated.
Theta cannot be 89 degrees, sir.
Okay, you point 0.0001, you are writing it. Huh?
Yes, sir.
See, one thing on paper you can argument for me anything, but practically what happened, the deflection that much may not be possible.
Okay.
Because again, yeah, the deflection not be possible. So therefore, because of this, so better say that electron positron formed cannot have such a high speed, practically not possible for them. They cannot possess that much of speed. And here also what happened, we have to go for further the spin, all other things will come. Just only conservation of linear momentum, just trying to support my argument here. Fine. So here, speed of positron electron comparable to speed of light, not possible. So therefore, then what is the reason, sir? What should happen? There should have been some other particle along with this. I should introduce some other particles here. That's what using conservation of move prove that pair production cannot occur in empty space. In same thing, what will happen in the presence in the nucleus? What happen? It's possible. The nucleus which is there, no, inside the nucleus it is possible.
Sir, why is first case not possible?
Yeah, empty space, because there should be some other particles should be released, no, along with this.
In first case, why can't we conserve linear momentum, sir?
We did all know, but such a high speed is not possible, no.
Not that, sir. Not you wrote not possible, no, sir. First.
But also same thing will get, sir. Speed will be high.
Theta equals 0. That's what.
Okay. Sir.
So here, what is that energy of that? What will happen here? One more thing, you check it, no. So SC by lambda. This is energy, no. Okay, you check it now. The ME, this one. We'll do one thing. I think still, this is what energy of photon, no? What is the rest mass of these two? 2 MeV. So this should be equal to 2 MeV. You take it outside into V. Able to get this? So this is the energy into C square. okay, fine. Yeah. No. So for that to happen, what happened? The energy of this photon, what happened, should be greater than the rest mass of these two particles. Plus, there should be also kinetic energy of the particles. So if you actually take that into consideration, SC by lambda, the equation should have been like this, the rest mass. So the rest mass is how much? MEC square. Plus what happened? The kinetic energy of that. That everything should come. So not possible, no? Okay, similarly, the annihilation. Annihilation means suppose a proton, electron, they combine, so like they'll combine, then charge or pen will become zero. That particular mass, can it get converted into photon? The next question. I think we have very popular questions in mains exam also they've asked. Yes, it is possible. Means reverse, can it happen? No. Again, when it reverse happens, charge should be conserved and the energy should be conserved. In that way, what you're supposed to check it. That's called like a annihilation. So once you go through, I think such things are more popular in chemistry books than here. What happened inside the nucleus? Inside the nucleus, what happened? The nucleus will have that angular momentum, momentum. Okay, from there, what happened?